Who ordered the pizza?
Welcome, students, to Vally City Community College. Wow, it has been such an incredible first couple of months here. It's been so lovely to get to know all your students, get to know your teachers and your classes. We are hurtling toward mid-semester here, where we will, take a little break in the middle, give everyone a long weekend while the teachers do stuff like grading. I hope everyone's working on their midterms. That's so fun for all of you students. I hope it's been a good year so far. Here at Vally City Community College, all we want is for you to get a good education and to have a good time and to stop getting in trouble. Just stop doing it. Just make it normal. Be a normal school. Just everybody take a breather and just act like students, please, for the love of Christ. We get it. It's an adventuring school. Anyway, this is Sammy signing off. Have a beautiful midterm season. Welcome back to Vally City Community College. We had an interesting session last time around. We kicked it off with our characters meeting with mysterious foes in the nighttime who were trying to steal the crystal pieces that you guys have kind of won back and lost a couple times in various different combinations. I think you all ended up holding on to your pieces of the crystals, which is impressive because I was trying very hard to make sure you didn't. So that's good for you.
Should we tell her?
Should you tell me what?
No, don't say anything.
I don't remember.
Don't need to say anything. Dad! Stop telling teacher we had homework.
No, I know. You guys then braved the rest of your week, went to a couple classes, maybe started feeling a little off as students and adventurers, possibly. We kind of headed toward the end of the session where your characters each kind of branched off and spent an evening hanging out with, what could possibly be a paramour, maybe just some friends, some good friends that each of you were able to hang out with and spend some time with. Leaving Andre at the library with Renata, Garth painting in his room with Lash, and we left our friend Derek kind of leaving the dorm buildings after having spent a really fun evening with his new friend Margot. Derek, as he left, went to check his bag for where the crystal was. He thinks that he felt it in his bag, and we kind of leave you here. We're not going to jump in media res, however. We're going to kind of move it forward a little bit as the week kind of goes on. I wanted to, before we jump in, let's introduce, I guess, our characters first. Today with us we have Dan Dobro playing
Garth Grimknuckle.
Jake playing
Andre Jacques-Francois Majme III.
He's reading it off a piece of paper, people. Bertperson, the owner of the channel, playing.
He can't read.
Take care.
True.
Derek
must have
Michael
it.
Johnson. Margot Dunker? Midterm flunker?
Oh, God.
Oh, no.
Oh, God!
I think we should just start the episode over, guys.
Yeah, we need a redo.
And that's how we're kicking it off.
Can Andre use Chrono Shift to bring us back to before he said that?
Derek Michael Johnson. MVP.
Oh, God, you just invited him to do another intro.
Bring us all to a time where none of us had to hear that.
You said midterms, and I didn't come up with anything, and I was like, oh yeah, midterms are coming up. I'm probably going to flunk those. What rhymes with flunk? Dunk.
Nice.
A look into the mind of the artistic process of Bertperson, everybody.
Yeah, so it's probably, it's been hard to kind of track time, but I've kind of said a couple times over that a week's gone by. So we're probably close to the middle of October, which is kind of where midterms kind of happens. You end up like getting the week off a little bit to work on midterms and like to come in for your midterms and all that jazz. So yeah, it's been kind of like, we'll say that it's like the week after, the Saturday night that you guys all spent with your various lady friends. I want to check in with you guys. How are your characters feeling? What are they doing this week, you think? I want to start with Garth. What do you think? How do you think Garth's feeling? What do you think he's been up to?
Yeah, Garth is definitely feeling good about his decision to, chill out on the whole investigation thing, after the crystal was stolen by that warlock shadow that ate it. He was like, you know what, I'm going to focus on classes, going to focus on my relationship with Lash, see what happens. Head down, but also head up kind of mood. I think he's feeling good. I think he's feeling pretty good.
All right, cool. We'll move over. Andre, how do you think you're feeling? What do you think you've been up to this week?
Andre is fully invested into this mystery. A lot of it seems to be involving maybe him with the whole Fae connection, so that's got him very intrigued. There's also been some nice benefits to doing research. He gets to hang out with at least one person that he doesn't get annoyed by. So there's he might be doing a little bit extra research, maybe as an excuse, or he's just really interested.
Yeah,
who knows?
Yeah.
I don't play the character.
The character just takes over, and you're just the vessel. And Bert, what do you think Derek's been up to?
Derek had a life-changing experience last session, which was learning that food is allowed to be delicious.
Yeah, that was like 2 sessions ago, but yeah.
Oh, that was... Well, this is when Derek's going to start taking stride in it. That was two sessions ago.
That's fine.
But Derek's going to use his free time to now... he wants to talk to both the health center and the chef at the cafeteria dining hall. And I want to talk to them about healthy seasonings. Because I'm not going back to bland chicken. I want healthy, but I want this stuff to taste good. Because it's allowed to taste good.
Yeah, you sit down with like a nutritionist from the health and wellness part of the college, and you also sit down with Stevie, your friend who runs the grill here, and the three of you just kind of sit down and put your heads together to think about what's a way to make sure that you're still getting all the protein and there's proper fats that you need to be eating. They're trying to get you to be okay with introducing avocado to your diet.
When I need you to understand, it took Derek 20 minutes to understand that fats were okay.
Exactly.
He couldn't grasp it. But you're supposed to not eat too many fats. So I just got rid of all of them. But that's what you're telling me I'm supposed to have some?
You're supposed to eat some of all of it. That's if the whole thing is that you don't just cut out one whole part of it. There's
I haven't had dairy since I was a child.
This is also this is what your parents taught you when you were growing up. This is the meals that your family made you. Your whole family ate like this forever. You probably always grew up eating really rough, weird food because your parents are both athletes and they raised you to be the perfect athlete.
And they did it.
They did something. They raised something.
They raised perfection.
They raised perfection. Great.
Just don't take a look at my midterms, Mom.
What I think I want to do here is do a little bit of a school montage where we're going to do a montage centered around you guys kind of telling me what you would like to be doing over the course of the week. This also works as you guys can kind of narrate, this is something I do and this is the check I roll for it. I go to this class and I do this homework, or I help somebody out with an essay, or just so you can say that you did something that isn't too world breaking, and try to roll a check for that, and I'll reward you based on that. Cool. If you want to be familiarized with what a montage is, go watch some of our other episodes if you haven't caught those. We go over what it is back then. So what this is going to be, what right now?
5.
5. Okay, cool. You guys are 5th level. So this will we'll go with DC 16. You guys are going to want 4 passes. Will make you pass the montage, and 3 will make you fail it. Let me get your initiatives. Who thinks they got the highest?
I think I got perfectly in the middle.
22.
You got a 22? Anybody get higher than a 22? No? Okay, cool. So that'll be Andre.
But I did roll a 13.
You rolled a 13. Garth, what'd you get?
A 10.
Okay, cool.
Perfectly in the middle, baby. I called it.
Cool. Okay, Andre, that's going to be you first. What do you think you're doing over the we'll call this like maybe a week's time as you guys do midterm week.
I don't know. If you would spend a whole week doing this, but it is something important, so I'm gonna go with it anyways. I would like to make a history check, specifically following up on something that Renata said about there not being a lot of history at the school. I'm going to go to the person that looks like they're the oldest, which as far as I can remember is that dickhead teacher, Dumbledore. And I'm gonna ask Dumbledore, since he was probably alive way before this school even existed, what's up, why there are no records. I mean, couldn't he just write them himself, since he probably remembers them? And I rolled a 9.
You rolled a 9!
That makes sense.
Yeah, based on the way that you asked that. So you go by this professor's office hours. It takes you a while to find his office, because you, despite the fact that you take his class, have decided to not learn his name. You tune it out every single time. It's a huge class you're in, I'll give you that. You're able to kind of sit in the back and fall asleep because you decided a while ago that you do not respect this man. You take a while to find Professor Willow's class. Classroom in his office. He has kind of like, this school building looks relatively like a big kind of school building, but there is this kind of weird tower off one of the sides that you've never really been up the tower, and as you get to this kind of section of the building, this is the like heavy magic section of the building, where like this tower isn't just his office. There's like a couple rooms and like storage things in here for you actually, as you walk up the tower, it's like this big spiral staircase, and on the walls, it's just this big tower up, but it's just full of like spell components. There's just like the walls are lined with like small like potion jars and like various different spell components. And it seems like there's like a couple gaps in it, meaning that like students probably come here and like, to get some of their components that they would need for certain spells and stuff for their classes. But it just kind of spirals all the way up, and at the top is Professor Willow's so you kind of come in here and you say, what exactly do you say to him? Give me some of that flavor.
I guess since I do need something for him, I should be respectful. So I'll start by knocking on the door.
Okay, you knock on the door. You hear kind of like a pause, and then a voice kind of says, "Well, come in. Are you just gonna stand at the door?"
Okay. I'll open the door. Hi.
Sir. You found my office, did you?
It wasn't easy, but I got here. I had some questions for you. Is that okay?
Yeah. Why don't you sit down here? I have some grading to do, but who really cares about it? I'll do both at once. I'm a multitasker.
Okay. He said something's about to show off. And I'll take a seat. So I was doing some reading, and I noticed a gap in the history in the school of the library. And I was wondering if you knew what the deal with that was. Why are we missing so many books?
Where are the books missing? Are they like in the middle or the beginning of the history? You know that it's at the end. There's like not. It's like when you go all the way. The farthest you go back doesn't feel like far enough. Like this is a society. It's there's a weird ending point that just feels like, and then like the beginning of these books at the beginning of the history just kind of start with like the world exists and these events took place. There feels like there's a prologue that's missing.
Yeah, I guess there's no explanation of how things kind of came to be. Like it just kind of starts. And I know I'm just curious why there isn't any explanation of where all of this came from. This being the world, I suppose.
He pauses for a little bit to think. He was like not really paying attention as you asked the question. He was writing something down, and then he kind of like takes a moment to pause and look up, and he kind of looks at you and is like, "Well, I understand you've come here because I am quite old, and under the assumption that I've been here when the world started. I wasn't. I'm a young 600. To be frank, I'm about 600 years old. So I have only been around for a little bit. The books date back, roughly 1,500 years. So I've been around for a lot of the time, but not all of it. I'll tell you this. It is important to be curious. And because I could not answer your query in this moment does not mean you should stop being curious. That's what I have for you. Also, have you done any of your midterm? You're supposed to turn, like, the first part in, and you haven't.
Yeah, I'm totally working on that. By the way, sir, you don't look a day over 450.
He like blushes and looks down and is like, well, flattery gets you nowhere.
Evidently Soda's asking you questions. Okay. I will bring you that midterm soon, probably.
Did you say probably? You say as you like go downstairs.
Oh, that's that. I heard that happens after 500 years. You start hearing things. That's funny. Goodbye, sir.
Cool. That's the failure. Derek, what do you think that you've been up to this week? This doesn't have to also be the whole week, just because we might go a round of it. So like a chunk of the week, the first chunk, you know.
As someone who's not been doing much homework, but knowing midterms are like the chunk that matter, I'm gonna do a little bit of religious studying. I'm gonna read that book that woman gave me, who I don't.
The professor gave you.
Yeah, I haven't asked her name yet. No, I did. It's Ingrid. That Ingrid gave me. I'm gonna read Ingrid's book finally and see how much I can actually like gather. Hold on to this. I'm gonna call that a religion check.
Sure.
That isn't terrible. It is a 16 exactly.
16 exactly. Okay, cool. On a pass, you start reading this book. I don't know if it's like you're like, I'm going to do it. Like you sit down and maybe not think that you're going to be as interested in it as you end up being, but you get really into it. And I mean, here's the thing. It is kind of supposed to be this like basic textbook, but it also is almost like a story of the book is called Lesser Gods, and like they're you being somebody who's like fairly new to the religious aspect of your life, are probably even unfamiliar with the greater gods that the lesser gods are kind of lesser to, but like so you're kind of you're essentially reading like a spin-off story of a story that you barely know. You know, it's like watching a different television show without watching the original one. And you're kind of reading through this book, and it's fascinating. Like, there are stories of gods in the celestial plane and these lesser gods who controlled smaller portions of land and smaller portions of the material plane and had, like, fewer followers. There's a lot of, like, there's a section in this book dedicated to nameless gods that are just, like, so small and far between that have, like, 3 followers total on the face of the planet. And you kind of, like, there's a lot of... There's a section kind of, it seems almost missing, that refers to a god that is now nameless for whatever reason, or is like hard to, not exactly nameless, but hard to like pinpoint and figure out, because they're so lost to the history books that there is such little understanding of who this person, this god could be, more in their history are. And it seems that at one point they did have an immense amount of power that like controlled over a large plane, and then that plane disappeared and that god lost all connection to their power and is kind of had to lay dormant. And you kind of, this is a small section in a bigger book that's almost like a side version of an even bigger story, but for whatever reason that kind of captures something for you.
I feel like it captures a lot, because I was this like super powerful football player who had his plane taken away from him. And like,
Yeah.
is there anything else about this god in the book, or is that all I can get from it?
It's kind of, that's what you can get from this right now.
And there's no
With
name
your-
to him right now?
No.
It's missing? Shoot. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Garth, what do you think you've been up to this for the first part of this midterm week?
Yeah, really putting his nose to the grindstone. He knows that he hasn't really been doing well this semester, but he's trying to turn things around before midterms and, then hit his stride. And so I guess I'm trying to maybe do a survival check for my tactics and resource management class.
Got it.
Is that valid?
Yeah, totally.
Cool. Yeah, that's 24.
A 24. Yeah, absolutely incredible. After being probably pretty distracted for your first couple of weeks here, getting wrapped up into this, elemental golem / mystery that you got involved in, you're a little distracted, hard to kind of concentrate and do any of your work and to retain any of this. You're doing really great. Like, we'll say, like, maybe the month of September was probably pretty bad, but these last 2 weeks have been pretty awesome. Like, you've really kind of started kicking ass. You got probably middling grades for the first 2 units, but now as you're in the beginning of this 3rd unit, you're leading the class in scores, because before, you saw your experience in the field as almost a disadvantage, because it was like, I've done all this before practically, this feels boring, but now you're really able to use some of your field experience to be better than everyone else in this class, which is kind of the point of getting your license. You're going to get your license and get out of here fast. Yeah, but you definitely there's you're hanging out more with your friends from home, specifically Mikey, Moore, Lash. You're kind of getting to know all the other barbarians in class that these guys have met. Lots of classic barbarian names. There's definitely Thrash and Puncher. Dave. Just the
Dave. The most fearsome of them all.
Dave. Exactly. It's kind of cool that you guys are hanging out with Dave. Dave doesn't like people. And you spend a lot of time getting to know these folks. And the barbarian class tends to stay out of other people's business. They feel very neutral about internal school affairs. And as you guys are kind of hanging out in an area that you definitely not in the cafeteria, there's this kind of little quad grass space in the building, kind of that is a run through to get from one half of the building to the other. And that's where essentially people who smoke hang out to smoke cigarettes and whatnot. And you're maybe you're hanging out here because Mikey smokes cigarettes and Moore probably smokes occasionally, and they're standing in this area, and you get a chance to, as you're standing out here having whatever conversation, what kind of conversation do you think you're having with your friends here?
Probably about I think it probably especially if it's a good day, I think and this is kind of to his detriment, but I think he is a little bit arrogant about whatever success has been happening if there's been a string of them.
Yeah.
And it's probably oh man, that technique you used the other day, this morning in pins and restrainment, absolutely crucial, Mikey. That was great.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
I just feel he's kind of demonstrating moves on nothing.
Really whooped that kid's ass.
Yeah, I mean, he had that stupid face.
I think it's a bad sign if Moore and Garth are ever acting simpatico. I think it's a bad sign for where Garth is,
totally. You
as
guys
far as quality.
Back pretty hard, and he's it's been cool, it's been great. We're killing this. We're gonna get out of this program faster, and then we're gonna take over our family's business. Can you believe it, man? One day. And he puts his arms around you and Mikey and kind of tries to pull Lash in, who's I'm good, as she smokes her spliff. She's smoking weed out to the side, and he's all of us together are gonna run that business one day. That's crazy. I mean, I guess Garth, if your cousins don't try to fight you for your spot, but if you get your license first, it's gonna be your spot, man. Can you believe it? Yeah. We're gonna get the decisions. We're going to be the ones who are choosing what bounties to go after. We get to manage all those people for the rest of our lives, dude. And then we're all going to have kids who are going to be friends. We're going to take over the business. we're set forever. Like, this is a dynasty. Like, nobody realizes how cool we are. And he's, like, going off right now.
The coolest.
As you're kind of standing here, you look off a little bit as he's like going into this, and you see this group of the group of like, you know, emo kids. This kind of patch of land connects down and out to the amphitheater that you can see. It's this huge concert venue that's like right next to your school. And these people are kind of like standing out by the corner, and they're all smoking their own cigarettes and having like a conversation in hushed tones. And then one of them is like holding their bag and is kind of like shaking it. And another one just says like kind of like goes shh and like pushes the bag down and then waves them over, and they all start kind of walking down toward the amphitheater together. And you just kind of see this in the distance. That's going to be so you guys have 2 passes and a fail. The thing I'll do is just going to move time along. We'll say that, you know, time kind of takes over. It's now kind of this was like maybe the Monday, Tuesdays of your weeks. We're now in the Thursday, Friday area of your week. Andre, what do you think you're up to?
I'm gonna take another trip up to Dumbledore's office.
Oh my God, no!
You don't even know what I'm gonna do.
I don't. I'm sorry. No. What is Andre doing?
That's what scares us.
I'm gonna knock on the door.
Okay, you knock on
Professor?
the door, and he goes, "Yes, Andre, again, yes, you can come in. What are you? Am I your new favorite professor or something? I feel like I'm getting a lot more visits than I ever got."
Of course, you've always been my favorite professor. And I'm gonna open the door, and I'm gonna put an apple on his desk. So, do you remember earlier in the week we had a conversation about midterm projects? A wonderful assignment, by the way. I really think that the lessons that can be learned from doing this project, the practice of the arcane magics, really will help us further our education. And while I would have loved, and I mean loved, to have done the project myself, I unfortunately did not have time to do it because I was taking your wonderful advice and doing some more research on this school's history. And I was wondering if, because, you know, that advice was given to me by someone as, if I may say, genius as you, if I could perhaps get some extra credit or perhaps an excuse on that midterm, and I would like to roll a persuasion check to persuade him to not fail me for not doing my project.
Oh my God! Yes.
Fuck!
What'd you get?
A 9.
You have a chronal
I rolled
shift.
a 3 and a 4.
You have a chronal shift.
No, I'm gonna take it.
Cool. He kind of like looks up from his paperwork. He wasn't looking at you while you did that spiel, and he's like, "Interesting. That's a different approach than anyone's ever taken before. To tell me they haven't done their midterm. You know that all we need is footage of you doing a spell of a slot or higher. That's what it is. I just need you practicing a couple of your spell demonstrations, followed by you doing a first, second. Actually, how many level spells can you do?
3?
3. Yeah, first and second level spells. That's what we need. It's your demonstrations and that. If you don't have the project by today, I will have to fail you. But also, if you do it for me right here and now, I won't fail you."
Oh, you thought I was serious. No, I came up here as a joke, of course. I did the project. I just wanted to,
what an incredible joke.
pal around with my buddy.
Do your project here. Do it.
Okay. I don't even remember what he said I have to do.
He needs you to he asks you to do some basic formations and cast a first instant to show your kind of a prowess ability to do that.
I will do that.
This won't give advantage to the next round. This is just something extra that I've padded in.
I'll do the project for him.
You do the project here for him. Cool. This is deeper into this montage, but roll me an Arcana check. This won't take away either. Just to do your formations and stuff.
Oh shit, where'd it go? 24.
A 24. Nice. You see that he's like taking out his phone and he's filming you. He's kind of snickering. You do a 24 though, and you do incredibly. He expected you to look really silly, and you actually look very practiced. And then if you'd like for me to tell me what first and second level spells you cast here.
Oh, okay. I'll do for first level. I mean, my favorite is Witch Bolt, so I'll probably cast. Actually, no. Hold on, I know what it has to be. It has to be Jim's Magic Missile. So I'm gonna set up. I'm gonna like take the apple and take my dagger and cut like 4 pieces and stand him up on his desk. And then I'm gonna take 4 gold pieces out and I'm gonna throw one, and then it turns into a magical bolt and pew, hits the apple. And I take another one, pew, right through the apple.
And you have to roll for these, right? Attack rolls?
Yeah.
All right. It's a very low DC because it's an apple, but you still have to roll.
Oh my god.
All right, I got a 17.
Hits.
I mean, it was more than that, but whatever. An 18.
Definitely hits.
A 19.
Yep.
And a 25.
You're kidding, really?
Yeah.
That's so many good rolls in a row. You do incredibly with Jim's Magic Missile. He looks at you and he's like, I knew Jim. Good person.
I knew.
Yeah, my grandfather told me about him before. Said he was not very fun to hang out with though, allergic to everything. Which is why these missiles are gluten free.
Yeah, well, Jim had a lot of dietary issues. He was a real masochist about it too. We'd be like, Jim, please, that's a mozzarella stick. Everything in there will kill you. And he said, no, I love my peanut mozzarella sticks. He's also allergic to peanuts and dairy. It was a real thing.
Professor, did you ever get to meet Max?
Which one?
The one who invented this, and I cast Max's Earthen Grasp, and I take the 4 apples, and this hand comes out of like the floor, and it grabs the apples and just and crushes them into a pulp, and then they all fall, and that's my second level spell.
Incredible. He is like really kind of impressed, and he's like,
Yes, actually, I did know Max. It's very fascinating that you picked all these spells of named wizards that someone I knew. Your grandfather, I wouldn't listen to every story your grandfather told you about other wizards because, and I don't mean to be a dick here, your grandfather fools.
Yeah, I've realized now that he talks very poorly of every other wizard. It kind of makes him sound like a dick.
Yeah, he's a lot of shit to get over, a lot of stuff to get through. He's 1,000 years old, so he's seen a lot, but he's seen a lot of things.
I would never want to sound like that, but now that you've seen my amazing spells, and I've blown your mind, I'm gonna take my leave. Thank you very much, and I'm gonna go try to read more books.
Nice. Yeah. Okay. Cool. That is going to be. It still counts as a fail, but we'll say that you end up passing your midterm eventually. You get a passing grade. It's not an A. You get like a C plus.
That fucker had it out for me.
That is going to be Derek. What do you think you're doing in the second half of your week?
I thought he passed because of how well that went, but I forgot he failed the montage.
No. He got you guys are 2 passes, 2 fails.
Okay.
Save me. I did all the fails.
I'm going to. I'm gonna go work out.
Okay.
I'm just gonna go work out. I'm feeling inspired, and there's nothing that gets me more jazzed up than a good 6-hour bench followed by 6 hours of squats.
Okay.
And then maybe some seasoned chicken.
And maybe some chicken.
Nat
What'd
20.
You get?
Let's go.
Nat 20.
Yes.
That's a pass of the montage. That's Nat 20. It's 2 passes.
Dan, did you feel
to
that
the
pressure
guard.
just leave your shoulders?
No,
Sorry,
it's literally, this is a full count. If we're talking baseball terms,
My
full
goodness.
You
count.
do an incredible workout because you're like going to a nutritionist now. Because before, here's the thing: Derek was incredibly malnourished. Like he thought that he was like feeding his body right, but like diet culture is bullshit. The all that stuff is like just wrong. It's pseudoscience. So like there is like to make sure. I mean, here's the thing: you're working on mass. You are somebody who cares about what you look like. There's a certain way that you should possibly like steer toward eating to do that, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you got to cut all the fun out of your food. And so you having come off like this week of eating pretty incredible meals, and again, they're nothing crazy. You're not eating like chili dogs, but you're eating like flavored food. Like that's just different, You're steaming a vegetable instead of you're using like ghee, which is like very healthy and it's not butter. And like you're doing more stuff to your vegetables and blanching them.
I'm getting so hungry listening to you.
And
Tell
that's
me
the
more
goal.
about the seasoned chicken.
Make you guys uncomfortable. Period. I'm not kidding. That's not the goal. As a DM, you want to make sure all your players are comfortable. But yeah, so you do an absolutely phenomenal workout as you're kind of standing here, and as you're like leaving the gym, which you like leave the area like pretty late at night usually. You're kind of like exiting, and as you're walking away from the gym is like kind of close to some of the art buildings. It's kind of like they're adjacent to each other, the wings. And as you're kind of leaving, there's like other people leaving the kind of art wing of the building, and you look at them and they seem like, and again, Derek spent his first year just kind of categorizing anybody who you're like, oh, those are some of those like hippie kids, some of those stoner kids. But then you look at them again, and they look like the people who have kind of cropped up a couple times during like the grass golem fight, and like these kids that seem like they're this new crop of like hippie kids that have shown up at the school and have kind of been around when mayhem has happened. And you see that they're all kind of in a huddle, and some of them they're having like a conversation with like a different person.
How close are they?
They're probably like, we'll say like 30 feet away from you.
Are there any bushes nearby?
30 bushes nearby. Yeah, we'll say with your nat 20, there's a bush nearby.
Okay, I want to misty step behind the bush. That's so that I can listen in on them.
Cool. What does it look like when you misty step?
So what I do is I grab one of my footballs, and a la smoke bomb, I like spike it. The football then like pops because of how hard I spike it into the ground, and like smoke goes around me, and then I just disappear like a really crappy magician.
Why do I ask you to? Okay.
And now I'm behind the bush.
Now you're behind the bush. It was a little noisy. They can't see you, but they all definitely kind of go, as they look around because that trick is a noisy one. But they kind of settle in as they don't see anybody around. And you said you want to listen in?
I just want to listen in.
Cool. As you're kind of here, roll me like just like a perception check to see how much you're able to really take in.
With pleasure. Come on. Am I allowed to use a luck point in this moment?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I'm going to use a luck point. I rolled a nat 2. Okay, that's so much better. 19.
19. Okay, cool. With a 19, you're crouched behind this bush. You're like kind of seated inside of this bush. Lots of like little branches up in places they shouldn't be. And you're sitting here and you kind of hear this conversation happening close to you, kind of a little bit away. And you're here kind of like the tail end, and they're like, I don't care if you're feeling heat or whatever, but we were sent here with a mission to accomplish. We have to make sure that we get our feelers out as far and wide as we can so that what needs to happen can happen. We're doing this. We're taking it back. And I don't care what those group of, what are they called, emo kids? What does that even mean? They're pretending like they're students here. Like we're pretending they can't also, those kids, I mean, I just like, and then have you seen those other, like, there's like 3 other people who also crop up every time we're like about to face off with these people, and instead they get their elbows involved? Who are they? What do they know? We gotta figure some stuff out. And the other one is like, hey, seriously, I wasn't comfortable by that noise that we heard earlier. I don't know why we're still here. Can we go? And one of them's like, yeah, okay. And they kind of all go to walk away.
The intrigue.
Do I notice like anything specific about like the way they look or anything that on their person?
They look the way that they've always, like, you've been able to recognize these people because they look like people who are trying really hard to like be that pretend hippie aesthetic of like the tie-dye clothing and the like loose fitting. Like they don't look like when you look at like people from the 70s, they don't actually, in the 60s, they don't actually look like a real flower child, but they look like the like costume version of a hippie. Like that's what the version is. They look like they're posers, you know, like that's kind of that's the vibe.
I was more saying like, do any of them like have like a nose ring or like earrings that are like definable that I could like know who they are? It's hard because like some of them have nose piercings and some of them nothing. I know what you're looking for, and there's nothing that you could like walk away with like a tattoo with like whatever. This is just kind of this group of people that you've seen. Okay, I didn't. I want if there was like something specific, I was hoping I could grasp it, but I get it.
But that's the passing of this montage. As you guys are here, this is probably, we'll call this like Friday night. What do you do? Would you like try to get in contact with the other group? Have you guys like spoken to each other at all in the last 2 weeks?
Garth still hasn't given me his phone number. So I really only see him when he talks to Andre, and I just go to Andre's apartment randomly.
So you randomly show up to Andre's apartment sometimes. With anything useful, or do you just show up to chat? Like, what do you, Andre, have you summoned anybody over? Like, what have you guys just avoided each other entirely?
I assume I'm keeping them filled in. I don't know how interested they are in continuing to look for, like, I don't know where their priorities lie, if it's in midterms or if it's in finding these crystals. If it's in midterms, then I'm probably brushing them off.
I think Garth's been pretty clear about, like, you know, whenever you've texted him with updates, like, all right, working on midterms right now, but cool, like, you know, stuff like that.
And you're just texting each other updates. Like, what are you saying specifically? Like, what's the kind of stuff you're saying?
I'll probably let him know, like, something weird about the book, like something weird about the history of this place, like cover up maybe. Dumbledore isn't useful. That's probably about as far as I'd get. If he doesn't seem interested, I'm not going to give him specifics.
Okay, cool.
And I would probably tell DMJ everything because he's probably chilling there listening to it while he's in my room.
Cool. Derek, do you think that you go over to Andre's place after hearing this conversation? What do you think you do after hearing this conversation?
If it's Friday night, Derek is going to go to Andre's place to see if, like, maybe he wants to do something fun. It's the weekend, classes are over. We don't need our books. So I definitely would come over to his place as soon as I'm done with my workout Friday. Probably get there like around 7. Be like, yo, pregame, shenanigans, let's talk. Also, I have news.
Okay. I'd love to hear the news before I get drunk, so that I will potentially remember it.
All right, so 2 big newses. 2 big newses.
Okay.
1 big news, Margot and I think we're doing good. Think things are going smooth.
Congratulations.
Totally got her to, like, see the clouds a couple times. Wink,
did you high five yourself too when you did it,
dude? You know it. She thought it was me smacking the tush, but then she's like, "Wait, I didn't feel anything on my tush." It was because I was high fiving myself. But second,
that's very cool of you.
It's just like.
But like, the second news.
Tell him
the second news is this goes deeper, man. I'm gonna like get down and I'm gonna like make sure, like, I'm gonna look at his window, make sure no one's, like, in the window. I'm gonna, like, go over, like, I'm gonna come down, talk to him, then I'm gonna stand up, go all the way over to his door, lock the door, check the window again, come back, and be like, okay, it's more people than we thought. It's not one people doing the gems. It's one people doing a gem, one people doing the other gem, and I think there's a third gem group, because I was leaving the gym, right? And these artsy dudes, they were like talking, so I spiked my football Misty Step style and hid in the bush, and I heard them from the bush, and they were like, yeah, and these emo kids are like stepping on our turf. And I'm like, wait, I thought the emo kids were the turf. Like, I thought that was the turf. But no, they're stepping on the turf. You know what I'm talking about, bro?
Unfortunately, I think I do. I'm starting to slowly learn to understand how you speak. You didn't hear anything, you don't know anything more about these kids, do you? Do you know, like, you don't know any of their names? Do you have any way that we could look more into them?
They're in the art building pretty often, I think. They seem like they are faking to be art peoples.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And so the ones I was listening to are the hippy dipsty druggy users, or maybe they don't even use drugs. I don't even know. Maybe they're faking the drugs. If they're faking the drugs, that's not cool, man. Drugs aren't cool.
The ones that show up every time the grass column shows up. The same ones.
Tess, can I correlate the hippie ones to the grass golem, or
they were there the first ever time the grass golem took form at that like pre-party that was by the dorms.
They were like
They
pulling
were
up the
the
grass,
ripping
right?
out the grass. Yeah.
Okay.
Then, they were there the first time, and then they've been there all the other times. So I think they're the grass golem group, and then maybe emos are the water dudes.
Maybe we need to do a little like espionage. Maybe we need to do a little undercover work, kind of get in with these groups and see what's going on. Try to figure out the inner workings of what's going on here.
I just look down to my dress pants and overalls, and I'm like, I don't think I fit in with the hippie dipsties.
No, and you definitely don't fit in with the emo kids either.
But Garth's also with the narc, so I don't think he's gonna get along with the hippie dipsies.
No, never put Garth near anybody that's doing anything cool. He will instantly.
How dare
him.
you? How dare you?
Oh, I'm sorry. Everybody freeze! Sit down!
Alright, so maybe we need to think this plan further. We have other people that we can get involved in this. I mean, I trust Renata to help us.
Right now I have
That's
no
about
reason.
it. I don't really trust my sister.
I'm glad you said it. She seemed like a fucking dweeb.
Yeah, well, don't say that.
Well,
Watch what you say about my sister.
hey, whoa. I'm only agreeing. Maybe adding a swear word. I'm sorry. But also what I would say is, right now, I don't think I have any reason to not trust Margot. And I don't know if I want to tell her everything. Because then she might be like, oh, he's showing off just so that we can fuck again. And it's like, yeah.
Not where I thought you were going with that, but okay.
Well, dude, I'm not trying to show off. I kind of like her. I want this to go
That's good for you.
God,
and if you don't,
in fact,
yeah,
hold on. I'm
let's
gonna take my phone out and just be like, "Hope you're doing great today," and I'm just gonna put my phone back.
You get actually, no, hang on. Sorry, no, not yet. Moving away from the scene, Garth, what do you think you're doing?
Actually, if we can cut to Thursday night, I think Garth is composing a text, and it's like, any parties tomorrow? No, it's not. What do you want to hang out for? No. And he settles on, what are you up to tomorrow? He's texting Lash.
Cool. Lash texts you back. After a little bit, it's longer than usual. It's like maybe 45 minutes, an hour, and she finally texts you back. She's like, "Hey, sorry, at dueling practice. Tomorrow night."
Shit, dueling tryouts. I don't even remember how this shook out.
Oh, did we not make the team? Did we not make the team?
We were a little too busy being in the woods.
Oh, man. I can't believe it.
She said, "Sorry, dueling tryouts. Tomorrow we have a match in. Let's see. Sorry. Sorry, my brain is searching for. Tomorrow we have a match in Waterfall City, which is the town, like one kind of like 45 minutes over. She's like, we have a match in Waterfall City, and then afterwards, the Waterfall City Community College usually throws this kind of big party situation. It's kind of a big deal on their end. Win or lose, they throw this huge kind of rager. So if you want to meet us in if you want to come to the match and watch it, and then meet us in Waterfall City, I mean, you're welcome to. We can try to figure out a way to get back together if you still have that, sidecar. Have we established that you have the sidecar or not?
No, I don't think I have the sidecar. We don't have the sidecar.
No. She says if you still have that sidecar, implying that when you were a teenager.
Yes. Oh, right. I still have the sidecar, of course.
I
say no sidecar, but I have an extra helmet.
Perfect. Yeah, meet me there, and we can party it up, and then we can maybe either figure out staying in Waterfall City with somebody, or we could come back together. Whatever you want to do. This is all over. She's actually sending you voice texts. Like she's the kind of person that sends you voice recordings and not actual text messages.
I love that. Sounds like a plan.
We'll see you there. So it's Friday night. There's just like, that she is the match. Have you decided that you want to go see the match as well, or you're going to, she kind of says like, you have to get tickets ahead of time to the match. They may be a little expensive. You may just want to meet us for the party.
Yeah, then I'll just do that. That if she's like, if it was too short notice to get the tickets, but I'll go and, because I have the motorcycle, so I can just drive over.
Cool.
What a thing to do in a fantasy game, to drive from one place to another place.
Cool. You set up in the motorcycle. We're actually going to cut back real quick to the boys in the dorm. As you guys are hanging out here in the dorm, kind of chatting, there's a knock at the door at the front of the, not like your bedroom, but it's like the front of the door.
I put my hand on Andre's chest and go, "Let me look first. I don't fucking trust any of these fuckers."
Okay.
And I think Derek's starting to get like conspiracy theorist vibes. Like he's just always like ready to like just pounce on whatever the fuck's happening. So I'm gonna like tiptoe over to the door.
Yeah.
Is there a peephole?
Yep.
Can I look through the peephole? Sure,
you look through the peephole, you see Renata.
Alright, I'm gonna put my hand on the peephole like they can look back through it. At my 7'4" reach, I'm gonna full extend the arm so I can be closer to Andre than the door. And I'm like, "It's that girl who likes the books."
Okay. Do you want to open the door for her?
Oh, right! And then I was gonna open the door and be like, "Hey!"
As you open the door, both of you are welcome to roll me an insight check.
13.
13.
I'm gonna use one of my second luck point. Or is it a later day? Or does my luck points reset?
Yeah.
It's the next day, right? Okay, so I'm gonna use my first luck point. Because I rolled a nat 1. Do I use 2 luck points? I rolled 2 nat 1s.
I would veto that. That's the
That,
dice
you know what?
telling
That's
you.
fine. You know, this is perfect. So you can't wait. I don't want to take this away from you.
I feel like the dice are trying to tell a story here, Bert.
Save it for combat.
Okay, well, I used one.
So as you open the door, Andre, I'll say with your 13, you see Renata, and she looks really pretty. She looks like because usually when you're hanging out with her, she looks a little bit like maybe like she sees you at the end of the day, so it's kind of like a disheveled look. But it looks like she like recently did her makeup, and her hair looks kind of nice. And you realize that like she didn't make plans with her; she just kind of looks nice and knocked on your door. And she sees Derek, and you see her kind of like she smiles, and then as she sees Derek, she's kind of like, "Hi, Derek." Derek, you read nothing into this. She's excited to see you.
Renat, it's a pleasure. I reach my hand onto her back and like escort her in, like kind of like pushing, but not like push, but like that, like, hey, come on inside.
Cool. Renata gets escorted in.
I'm sorry, my roommates told me to stop feeding him and said he'd stop showing up, but he just still keeps coming back.
I learned you can season chicken.
That's good. That's good, Derek. Yeah, man. Like that's food making. I guess I was just coming by to see what the two of you were doing tonight. Definitely the two of you. And at this moment, Andre, you get a text message.
That might be plans. I'll open it up.
You open it up and you are looking at a text message from, I don't know the extent of your relationship with her, but this would have been maybe your high school paramour. Her name is Manon. And she texts you and is like, long time no talk. What, you go to a different school and you decide that you don't want to talk with us anymore? Me and Simon have been going crazy without you. You should come into town for a party tonight in Waterfall City, which the school that you wanted to go to, the nicer school, is in Waterfall City. There's this kind of like they're like huge party tonight. Local community college throws it. We all of us show up and try to trash it. It's a great time. You should come by. I really miss you.
That sounds like such a bad idea. I gotta
Bring Renata. It'll be great.
Yeah, right. I got a text asking if I want to go to a party at Waterfall City College. Is that what it was?
It's a Waterfall City Community College party.
Okay.
Your friends don't go to the community college; they go to the like Ivy League college nearby.
Our rivals, WCCC.
Yeah, exactly.
I got a text asking if I want to go to a party at WC Cubed.
At
Has it been established that in this? I don't know if it's been established ever in the recording that in my head I call the school VC Cubed.
VC Cubed.
Yeah.
Maybe I don't know. Derek, you hear this and you know that's like this is the Waterfall City. They throw good parties. It's like the only thing is that it's a bit of a drive away. But if you can get yourself out there, then it's a great time.
Renata, you look like. Oh, sorry.
Oh no, please go ahead.
You looked like you had plans. Did you have something in mind?
Oh, yeah, my plans just texted and they canceled. I'm free for the night. Let's do your thing. Let's go to the Waterfall City party. Do either of you have a car?
That's something you'd like to do?
Yeah, I think that could be kind of fun. I mean, we do so much hanging out at the library. I figured we could hang out without the library. Did Dan go green for any? Oh, he's back.
Oh, he's back.
And Dan's back.
Okay. Yeah.
Any of you guys have a car?
No.
No.
I grab my phone and just beep boop boop boop. Margot, I'm calling her this time.
Okay, roll me a luck check.
Okay, come on. Can't get 3 nat 1s in a row, baby. Come on.
Come on.
Luck point. It's worth it. I'm using a different dice. This dice sucks. There we go. 19.
Yeah, on a 19, you call, and it rings a bunch of times, and then finally, when it seems like it's gonna like pick up the voicemail, you hear someone say, "Hello? What? Why are you calling? I forgot my phone could call. Why are you calling me?"
I'm looking for instant answer. Yes, no. You hit me with what you want. It's party night. We're heading to WC Cubed. I want you in. You coming with me?
You get she kind of pauses and is like, and you kind of realize in the background you hear like a lot of noise, and she's like, I'm at the dueling competitions, like I'm gonna be there.
I like go into the corner. I'm like, babe, I thought you'd tell me when you're competing. I told you I'd support you.
She's like, we should talk about what this is, because I guess I didn't think. You should come to the party if you'd like. I'll see you. I'll see you there. I gotta go. And she hangs up.
Oh no.
Oh God.
I'm like
Poor
facing I'm
Derek.
just gonna face the corner for a little while and just pretend I'm still on the phone. Yeah. No, totally. It'd be so much fun to be at the party with you. No, I'll wear I'll wear the overalls you like. I promise, like the nice ones, the shiny ones. And then I just turn around, guys. Just give me 1 second. We'll head to the party in like 2 more seconds.
Renata turns to you, Andre, and is like, "There's no way he's on the phone anymore, right? Like he."
You just all of a sudden hear.
Sometimes it's better if you just play along. If you just don't question it, sometimes it's easier than getting the right answer.
No.
And as you guys are kind of out in this scene, you guys are like still in the common area. You didn't walk into your bedroom or anything. One of your roommates kind of walks out, and he looks like he's all like kind of gussied up. And he turns and he's like, "Partying tonight?"
Evidently, you're going to the same party we are?
Probably. I mean, there's like one party a weekend around here, and we all end up going to it. So, yeah. Do you need a ride? We got a van.
Oh.
You see me hang up, like forget to hang up the phone, and I'm like, Van Squad!
Does Andre call Garth real quick?
I guess I could.
No, you
I
don't.
don't think you can fit everyone on a motorcycle. I don't have a reason to. I guess I would call you after we agree. Okay. Here's what I'll do. I'll say to the roommate, "Yes, okay, we'll take the ride in the van, sure." And then I'll call Garth and be like, "Things are happening."
You've reached the voicemail of Garth Grimknuckle.
Damn it.
If you don't pick up, I'm probably driving. Or I'm not interested in speaking. Leave a message. Bye.
Garth, if you're not driving right now, I swear I will find you at this party. I know you're gonna be there, and I will fucking murder you. Pick up the phone next time. If I have to ride in a van because you just didn't feel like picking up your phone, I swear to all of the gods. Click.
Garth, you get this phone call as you're getting ready to get on the bike, but not yet.
Oh no, I'm driving. I'm on my way. I'm trying to get there early.
Before we leave, I just look at Andre and go, bro, let's just can I just leave my bags in your room? Because I was originally gonna I was gonna crash here. Honestly, I thought we could just hang tonight. But can I just leave my bags?
You hear Renata go, "Great, yes, you should crash here." She speeds up a little bit.
Yo, Andre, pass me your keys. I'm just gonna lock your door for you.
It's gonna leave all the bags.
No, wait. Oh yeah, can I? Keep
If Renata turns around, I'm gonna melt the words.
Hang on.
So wait, do you toss me your keys?
He doesn't.
Yeah.
Okay, so as he tosses me the keys, and I'm I go to lock the door. I think about it for a second. I'm like, I think we fought like every time we party together. So I just go into the room, grab my 2 bags that have the Morning Star and my footballs, and leave everything else there. And I'll grab one of my Luna bars, and I'll just pocket.
I was saying, did you want to roll for your food that you have on you this time around? Because it's a new day.
True, it is a new day. Let me roll to see what food I have, because it was Luna bars, but I guess it's not anymore. 6.
A 6. Yeah, with a 6, you can have a D4 of healing to give to people, and with a 6, it's half those Luna bars from earlier in this week. It's like Luna bars that you've already taken a couple bites out of.
Okay. So yeah, I'll put those in my pocket.
Great. Okay, cool.
Pocket
so you guys
bars.
head out in the van. Garth, you're driving.
I do then lock his door for him. Like his.
Say it again?
I do lock Andre's like personal bedroom door after grabbing my bags.
Cool. So you guys follow your roommates out, Andre. You go to like the back parking lot behind the dorm building. You guys get into the car and you guys can all pile in. And as you get into this car, you realize that like, you know, a section of the seats in the back have been taken out. And there's like a little water bed in there. And there's just kind of like, you know, but there's so many people who pile into this van to like get to the party. Like lots of people are laying down in the bed, leaving like a couple seats for like the 3 of you guys to squeeze into. But there's like other people. It's like 5 people sitting in seats made for 3 people. Like it's just, this van is full of people right now.
Andre's like basically in the fetal position, like knees up, like hands around the knees, like clutched very tight, like trying not to touch, like to be touched by anybody else. And if anyone looks over and asks, like, he's like, "Yeah, I'm fine. This is cool. This is fine. Yeah, I'm okay with this."
roll electric for me.
A 1.
A 1? Yeah, Renata somehow got tangled up and is in the back of the van where the bed is, sitting with some people who are kind of flirting with her.
I'm so sorry.
Can I be laying in the bed, or is that like?
I guess if you want to be laying in the bed,
enjoying the water, just. Yo, this is great for my back.
Andre's sitting by himself with 4 strangers who are just kind of like, you know, talking over him. Like you're in the middle of them. They're like passing bongs over you and like, you know, smoking.
One
and all
of them
that.
spills a little water on me. Jesus fucking.
Exactly. Well, every time a bong passes over you, water gets spilled. You gotta wonder.
It's
Yeah.
a van. There's
Covered
no
in
way it has
water.
good hydraulics.
And the caravan kind of goes down the road. And you guys see like on the drive here, there's like, you know, a bunch of cars that are heading over, but also like they all kind of start taking different routes because there's a bunch of different ways to get here essentially. Lots of debate about which is the fastest way. Garth, you're kind of farther up the road a little bit. Everybody, as you're driving,
I was gonna say, let me know when I get there because I'm in a text.
Well, as you're driving, you guys are welcome to roll me like perception checks.
Never say no to a perception check.
Can never. 22.
Natural 1.
Natural 1.
Join the squad.
A 10. Okay. Yeah, Garth, you're
rolled
laying,
low.
not Garth,
I did
Derek,
it.
you're laying down in a bed. You're like not really perceiving anything besides like the people around you in this van. None of the people in this van seem like any of the fake hippies. These people seem like genuine stoners. Like people, this is just their lifestyle, as opposed to people pretending to be something they're not.
They're actually getting high.
Yeah, they're actually getting exactly. Andre, as you're kind of driving down the road, you looking out the window a little bit, which again you're in the middle seat, but you can kind of see out the window. What'd you get, a 20 something?
22.
22. With a 22, you kind of look out into the distance and you see, for just a moment, kind of diving, the forest that surrounds your school kind of expands and goes out and like is the the forest that's like along the sides of the road is the same forest looks like the same forest that's behind your school. Like it all connects to each other. And you kind of see like diving in and out from the trees at some points are what looks like something that has huge wings. Giant wings flapping up and down, not like kind of a bird, but almost not a bird, just kind of flying in and out of the tree line. Garth, you're on your motorcycle and you're heading your way toward like forwards. and you're kind of just driving down. It's like a normal ride. It's about a 45-minute motorcycle ride away. This is, you're used to this kind of thing. Wind in your ears, just and you're not really paying attention to very much. You're just kind of thinking about Lash inviting you to this event and how exciting that is, and how much progress you've got to make with her when you're not like preoccupied by this like goose chase that you were sent on before, essentially. And as you're kind of like reveling in this moment, and Andre, the way that going back to Andre, the way that the roads kind of run is they do a little bit of this thing. So like when you're at the hill of one peak, you can kind of see out into the road kind of all the way into the distance. And you see all the way in the distance one of these creatures with incredibly large wings fly upwards into the sky, like really high, and then stop on a point and dive bomb down onto the ground. As you're on the ground here, riding your motorcycle forward, you are kind of here, and then all of a sudden you are like body checked, and you are slammed by something that just slams directly into you. You have to make a dexterity saving throw.
A dexterity saving throw, you say?
Yes.
Is this the kind I get advantage on because of my danger sense?
Yeah, it absolutely is.
Thank goodness. I think it's the first dex save I've ever rolled in this. Okay, thank goodness. A 9 and a 19, so altogether that's going to be a 22.
22 dex save. Yeah, so this thing crashes into you, but you're able to like maneuver your motorcycle in such a way that one, you don't get like flung off the side of the road and like seriously hurt. You're able to stay on top of your motorcycle and kind of just whip it around. But this thing is kind of like, it like lowers itself in front of you, and it's really dark. You're on a strip of the street that is like the closest lampposts are pretty far from each other. Like you can kind of see because of the dim light of the moon and these lampposts like very far in the distance, but you cannot see.
I do also have dark vision. 60
you have
feet.
dark vision. Well, that's you
feel it's seeing like grayscale, I think is what it is.
Yeah, exactly. So you're kind of seeing this in grayscale essentially, and you see this person who looks humanoid, looks like somebody kind of wearing a like thick kind of sheet of like leathery, almost like armor all over them, but there's no seams. It just kind of seems like that's what is on them, and they have these huge horns coming out of their heads, like very kind of long hair, and these enormous wings coming out of her back. And she's staring you down here on the road. Back in the van, Andre, do you say anything after having seen this weird thing?
Yeah, I'm probably. How close am I to the driver?
Because you're sitting in one of the seats, you're very close. You're like probably 5 feet away.
Fuck it. I'm just gonna yell like he's gonna yell out so that everyone can hear. Hey, there's something coming above us. We need swerve. Roll
me a persuasion check.
Ooh. What's my persuasion? 19.
19. Yeah, with a 19, this thing is going to kind of like this guy who's driving, your roommate is driving the van, is like, what? Where are we gonna go? What did you see? I didn't see anything. And he kind of just like pulls over. As you guys have been speeding, he like has been it's been an unsafe trip. And you kind of skirt to a stop, and everyone's like, ah! As like the thing kind of jerks forward. Everyone can roll me a dexterity saving throw as the van kind of.
7.
Andre, you get flung.
I also rolled a 7.
You both get flung, but you only take 5 points of damage as you kind of get flung out of your seats and off the bed, essentially. But this thing does kind of stop on a dime, and you look out of the van, and like probably like 90 feet in the distance, you see Garth's like motorcycle, which you can't really see. It's very, like I said, it's very, very dark. You're closer to where one of the lampposts are, but you can like tell, the light coming off of his like motorcycle headlight, and there's something standing right in front of him. What do you guys do?
I grab Renata's arm. And I say, oh wait, we stopped. The thing isn't attacking us, right? Nothing attacked us?
Not yet. It's you see something looks like it's maybe a
I say, drive forward to the thing in the distance. Go now. Go.
And he tries to start his car, and it like stalls.
God damn it! Okay. I grab Derek and I grab Renata, and I'm like, we gotta go, and I start pushing people out of the way, and I'm like, we gotta go.
You're trying to get out of the van, and down kind of in the street, Garth. You're looking at this thing who is going to whip out a long sword, pause for a second, and start running toward you. I need everyone to roll me initiative.
That is the best I've rolled all night.
What'd you get?
A dirty 20.
Dirty 20.
Hey.
Anyone beat a dirty 20?
No.
Got another fucking 10. It's the second 7 in a row I've rolled on initiative tonight.
13.
Who got... you got a 13, okay. Sorry. Hang on. Yeah, sure. Do you want to pause here?
If that's cool.
That sounds good.
Cool. Little short rest.
I want a sandwich.
Okay, are you in?
Yeah, right. I might have to get one later.
Yo, sandwich.
We're not going to play for too much longer, guys.
Sandwich time after the fight?
100%.
Oh my god, let's all have sandwiches after this time, after the fight.
All right. Are you ready?
Yeah, now that we've made plans for a sandwich time, I'm ready.
Okay, cool. So out in the middle of the street, Garth, you're looking down the eyes at this interesting-looking woman-like thing, and is going to run forward and attack you.
Great.
I guess you beat my initiative.
Yeah, no kidding.
The first attack is a 17.
17 will hit.
17 will hit. Oh, she also doesn't run up within 5 feet of you. She's a very long sword that has a reach.
Okay.
So does 17 hit, you said?
Yes, it does.
Okay, cool. I'm going to just roll all of her attacks right here and now, and then we'll do the damage.
Cool. Love it.
I don't like that she said all and not both.
Second
Yeah,
attack is a 24.
Yeah, that was also going to do it.
Cool. And the third attack is also going to be a 24.
Okay. Great.
Okay, so she hits 3 times.
Awesome. Well, luckily I've been working on my backup character.
You are going to take... Sorry, this is so bad. You're going to take 31 points of damage.
Okay.
As this thing slashes into you 3 times.
Great.
That is going to be Derek. That's your turn. Down, you're like I said, you're 90 feet away. You see this thing swing into Garth.
Okay.
Maybe you hear Garth cry out. That's maybe what you...
Yeah.
Well, you wouldn't cry out, Garth? You wouldn't scream in pain?
You don't know.
This is the stabbed principle all over again. Being stabbed would make you scream.
I don't know. I'm still trying to figure out what sort of giant sword you have or something.
It's just following.
The real question is,
Yeah.
would you scream more being stabbed or being slashed? Does bludgeoning damage or piercing damage make you scream more? Which one does more damage?
It depends on the damage. Derek, what do you do?
We've never agreed on
Okay.
this.
Bonus action, Misty Step, right?
Yeah?
Yep.
So bonus action, Misty Step, 30 feet just forward. And then
Okay.
full dash action, 60 feet to Garth.
You make it to Garth. Garth, you kind of in the distance see like poof, and then just and Derek running top speed toward you.
You also hear a loud football being popped on the asphalt.
Is that your turn?
Yeah, bonus action, full sprint. I'm
Great.
I want to be
Munger,
next
what
to
are you
Garth.
doing?
I'm gonna turn to Renata and I'm gonna say, "That's our friend, probably dying up there. I think. Don't feel obligated to help us unless you want to help us. I would be greatly appreciated, but don't feel obligated." And you said they're 90 feet away.
Yep.
Easy. I cash Tasha's mind whip.
Okay.
From 90 feet away, this huge whip comes out of the ring, and it's only 11 to hit.
An 11 does not hit.
Whoop, and it misses, and then I go, "Oh fuck!" and I run 30 feet closer.
Cool. You run 30 feet closer. Great. Garth, that's your turn.
Oh, is it? Awesome. Cool. I'm gonna rage as a bonus action. As
Okay.
there's a giant sword having slashed me. I don't know about stabbing, but yeah, I guess I'll just run up and hit it with a sword. What do I know about what this creature looks like? Can I is there like a thing? Is there like a hey, this looks like a thing you've heard about kind of check I could do as not an action because I don't have the economy for that?
You wouldn't know what this thing is.
Great. Well,
Is it like a humanoid harpy? Is that the best way to describe it, though?
I can send a picture to our chat later so you guys can get a better visual on it, but I can't really.
There's one thing we learned in the Grim Knuckle household. So when you get stabbed, you stab back. Longsword attack. 17 to hit with the longsword.
17 does not hit.
Balls. Unarmed strike. With my fist. There we go. That's a 24 to hit.
That hits.
Cool. It's gonna be a big ol' 4 points of bludgeoning damage.
Okay.
And I'm going to take a bonus action and do what's called patient defense. As a monk, I get a dodge action. I think it looks like Garth taking his sword and then his punch. He misses with the sword. I think he probably lands a kick, and then it doesn't take a step back mechanically speaking, but he kind of just gets into a ready stance.
Yeah. Cool. That is going to be...
He doesn't do that because he uses bonus action to rage.
Right.
So
To rage.
he did get his unarmed strike off. So
Cool.
it's cool.
Is that your turn?
Lose him, right?
Yeah, no, it's fine.
That is going to be Renata.
Yes.
Who is going
she's gonna
to,
help.
from her position, cast out a fireball.
Wait.
So she's got-
No.
I mean, I'm right there.
Well, no. Renata's behind you too, though. She's casting it so it gets behind this woman.
Oh, so she's targeting the space behind the creature.
Yeah.
Okay, she's smart enough
He
not to
does-
hurt us.
He, however, does pass the combatant and going to take half of. She's going to take a little bit of damage from that fire. You see, she kind of snarls and whips around. That is going to be back up to her. She is going to look at. We have Garth and Derek here now, so she's going to do her first attack against Garth. Only gets a 15.
A 15's not gonna do it. Clang off the sword, parried.
She's going to try to hit you with her second attack. She gets a
Do
16.
it. No, don't worry about it.
Oh.
She gets a 16.
What did she get?
16.
So because 16 is my normal AC, but because of my Way of the Kensei abilities, if I use an unarmed strike as part of the attack action, my AC goes up 2 until the start of my next turn. So with my AC being currently 18, clang off the sword, parries.
Going to turn to Derek. Derek does a 17 hit.
It does not, because my AC is normally 18.
Yeah, she just whiffs 3 times in a row. That is going to be your turn, Derek.
Okay.
Oh, I'm gonna use my reaction to swing at her because she swung at my Amigo,
Got it.
and I have the Sentinel feat.
I like that.
And that's gonna miss with a 17.
Yep, that misses.
Fuck me.
She's only been hit by a kick and a fireball, right?
Yes.
And how hurt is she look at all?
Oh, actually, hang on. I'm so sorry. The fireball hit her and did nothing.
Did nothing.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Is it clear that it did nothing?
The fireball hits her and just kind of absorbs into her aura and just kind of actually makes her look cooler.
Garth,
She looks hot. I'll tell you this. She's a hot.
Garth. She's really cool.
Hit her, you idiot!
Bonus action Hunter's Mark. I closed my right eye and I'm just looking at
Turn to
her.
Garth and say, "Have you ever been scared and horny at the same time?"
So bonus action Hunter's Mark, and we're gonna swing with our 2 attacks that we have now.
Got it.
That's an 18 to hit.
18 is going to hit.
Okay, and I'm gonna roll the second one. And that's a 19 to hit.
That both hit. Yeah, those hit.
Okay. So that's these 2 and these 2.
Of course, I was 1 away both times.
25
She
damage.
Okay, cool.
How much?
25.
I heard 45. I was like, "What the fuck?"
No, because I rolled 2d6 for the Hunter's Mark for each hit, and then a d8 for each of the hits normal. And
Cool.
I also could have technically Divine Smite on both of them.
That is going to be Andre. What are you doing?
I have a plan. All right, I'm going to. Would it be an action to ask Renata if she knows what this thing is?
Yeah. Trying to think. Well, you know, because you could do. It's a free speak action.
Speech
so
is free?
yeah, speech is
Okay,
free.
I am literally just gonna say, this. I'm gonna be like, "Do you know what the fuck this thing is?" And I'm gonna cast, cause I'm scared, and I'm gonna also run 30 feet closer to get in range.
Okay.
So I'm 30 feet away, and I'm gonna cast Sapping Sting. It has to make a con save
Okay, cool.
What the heck is that?
of 14.
Wait, what's Sapping Sting?
She passes.
Fuck, never mind. You're not gonna find out.
Okay.
All right, nothing happens.
Cool.
Brutal.
Is that it?
Yeah. Actually, you know what? No, I'm gonna chrono shift and make her redo it.
Okay.
Yes!
That is, you said a con save?
Yeah, 14.
14. She's going to just pass.
Okay. That'll
Um,
be my turn.
that is going to be Garth.
Alright, no more fucking around. Recklessly attacking. I'm gonna take 2 swings with the longsword. Alright, miss on the first swing. With a 10 to hit. And a miss on the second swing with an 11 to hit. That is so brutal. I cannot even tell you. These dice are going away. And I guess I'll use my bonus action to... Fuck it, I'm gonna flurry blows. I'm gonna flurry blows and I hit her. I'm still attacking with advantage. These unarmed strikes. God. Okay, fine. A natural 17, 23 to hit on the first unarmed strike. And
Come on.
natural 20.
Let's go!
Okay. So that's we do crits the fun way, right?
Yep.
Max
The
on the
full-
extra die.
Okay, so that's gonna be. Now, unfortunately, I don't think the orcish savage attacks thing counts for unarmed strikes,
I think it's
which is a
weapons.
real shame. Yeah. So let's see. That's going to be 10, 14 plus. Okay, 21 points of damage on these 2 unarmed strikes.
Let's go.
Okay, cool. You see that like they take, and the same thing with your hits before. It doesn't feel like it does the full amount of damage that it would usually do, but it definitely does damage. Cool. Is that your whole turn?
Yep.
Great. That is going to be what? Renata. Renata, noticing that her spell didn't necessarily do what she would have liked it to do, is going to... She's going to run forward like 30 feet, and she is going to cast out a shatter.
Did she have an answer for my question?
Give me a second. I'll do this and then I'll do that. So she's going to pass for the shatter, but she's still going to take half.
I feel like even with Renata, this is a rough fight.
I'm a little worried, if I'm being honest.
I'm a little nervous too. Do I need to have
I
a
mean,
backup character?
if I'd rolled anything above 10 before round 2, this could have been a very different fight.
Okay, cool. That is going to be back up to her turn.
Wait, did she have an answer?
Oh yeah, sorry, Renata. Renata's going to look at you, kind of in horror, and she looks a little shell shocked right now. And she's kind of like, I'd have to read more books, I think.
There's no time for books.
Really answer.
Books are no place for the battlefield.
She says, I have maybe an idea, but I need to confirm. And that is going to be the Thing's turn. She is going to attack out at, Andre, how close are you now? You're like 30 feet away?
I am.
Okay, great. So what she's going to do first is she's going to swing out at, Derek. Derek, she gets a 16.
That misses.
Then she's going to swing out at Garth. That's only going to be an 11.
Even with advantage?
Sorry. Oh, with advantage. No, I'm sorry. You're right. Oh, with advantage, it's a nat 20.
You're welcome.
Wait.
Are you going to protect me?
Can I protect him? Because that invokes disadvantage.
Yeah, it's a new round.
Yeah, I can invoke protection, and that disadvantage, so the nat 20 never happened.
Sure.
That's what protection fight is all about.
Yeah, I guess. Sure. Yeah. So
Thank you.
she's going to free object interaction, switch to her bow, turn around, and fire a shot out at Andre. Andre, she gets a 19 to hit.
Ow.
I always am worried, like, I don't want to waste my protection because I thought she was going to run and try to attack, so I was like, I should get an attack of opportunity.
So you take 10 points of damage, plus an extra 15 points of poison damage. As you... actually, hang on. Yeah, make a Constitution saving throw.
Rough.
A 17.
Did you say 17?
How much?
17.
17. Yeah, let me see. With a 17... so with a 17, you still fail. Oh, no, I'm sorry. No, you pass. That's crazy.
Holy crap. I was about to be like, we lost this fight, guys. We need to run.
You've passed. So you're hurt, but have a little bit of poison in your veins. That's going to be Derek's turn.
Okay. How are you looking, Garth?
About half great.
Okay. Let me know when it's quarter great.
Great.
Great. I'm gonna attack twice.
Andre coughs up a little bit of blood. I'm doing good too.
Wait, are you okay?
No.
Oh.
That one hit took out a third of my health.
He's also like 30
3/4 of
feet
my
behind
health.
you. He's like 30 feet behind
I
you.
can't touch you.
Yeah, you can't get. Yeah.
I'll revive you later.
Oh, God.
Okay, a 13 on the first, but a nat 20 on the second.
Nice,
So
nice.
we're gonna do our first ever second level Divine Smite.
Ooh!
And is this a fiend by any chance?
It is a fiend.
Oh, we have so much damage coming your way. Do I need to separate it then?
Yes, I think you do. Hang on, let me see.
Okay. This is so much.
Just roll your Morningstar damage first.
Yeah,
that's what
separate
I'm
your
doing. Well, the Morningstar and the Hunter's Mark.
radiant
Yeah.
damage. Yeah, from your Hunter's Mark and your.
No worries.
Does your Hunter's Mark make your hits magical damage, or
I
No.
don't believe so for the purposes of overcoming resistance. It just makes them
yeah.
do
Okay, cool. So, yeah,
more
separate
of their
it.
own physical damage.
So let's see.
But geez, that's 14 on top of a D8 and a D6 plus your modifier.
Let me just do some math. Don't you worry. Because
Plus,
we
let's
rolled
see,
pretty
second level
good as
smite.
well.
yeah, on this on this map.
3D8,
No, you guys
48
can
because it's a
pause and
fiend.
reveal it while Bert does his counting. Anyway,
26.
I'm not ready to die.
26 bludgeoning.
26 bludgeoning. Okay.
And now I roll 3d8 for my Divine Smite 'cause I did second level.
No, 4. It's a fiend.
Oh, I get the extra die. Oh my god.
And this is 32 on top of what you're about to roll?
32
Is that right?
on top of whatever I roll.
Incredible.
So, oh.
It's fine. It's fine.
Oh.
It's fine.
42?
42 points of
Okay.
damage.
That's, yeah.
So 26 bludgeoning, 42 radiant.
Yes.
26 bludgeoning, 42 radiant. Great, it's still up, but it looks incredibly hurt as you do this.
I was really
And it's like shocked that you've heard it so
I was
much.
really hoping for the double damage for radiant damage.
What did you do? 10 on 48? Is that what happened?
On 48, I rolled a 1, a 4, a 2, and a 3.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Cool.
Hey, it happens. It's okay.
That's Andre. That's your turn.
Who are you, me?
I know, dude, I'm rolling bad tonight. The only thing good was the nat 20.
I want Renata to make me to think I'm a wimp, but also like I'm about to die. I'm gonna cast Mage Armor on myself,
Nice.
and I'm gonna walk back 30 feet, and I'm gonna say, get ready, here comes the big spell.
Here comes the big.
Spell.
Okay, do you do anything else, or is that it?
No, that's it.
Great. You do a whole bunch of nothing.
That's not true. My armor just went up by 3 points.
Yeah, well, to me, it's nothing. That's going to be Garth. That's your turn. You're standing here with this thing in front of you. So what do you do?
I'm just gonna. Yeah, I'll attack recklessly again. Fuck it. Long
got
sword
you.
swing. There we go. A nat 1 and a nat 18. So that's going to
Nice.
be a 24 to hit. And let's give it another swing. That should do it with an 18, right?
An 18 is going to hit. Yep.
Excellent. I'll just do a regular bonus action unarmed strike, but it's still reckless.
Cool.
And that's also good. It's going to be a 23.
Let's go!
23 does hit as well. Yeah.
Okay. So
Bop this
pardon
bitch.
me. That's going to be 2d8 plus 1. Sorry, 2d10 plus 1d4 plus 15, I believe.
Plus 15. Okay, cool.
Let's see it. Not great. Not great. That's just going to be 22 points of damage of
22
slashing
points of
and then
damage.
bludgeoning.
Cool.
Yeah.
Again, doesn't do the full amount you think it would, but it still looks like it hurts.
Get my sword magic.
Great. That is going to be Renata's turn. And I was going to move another 30 feet forward, so it's about 30 feet away, and is going to cast out... Hang on. I am... There we go. Is going to just cast out a firebolt, just a regular... Oh, no. Knows that fire doesn't work. Fire is like her favorite thing to do, so she's feeling a little thrown off here. But she's going to cast out a magic missile. That's what she's going to do. Just a
yes.
magic missile.
Force damage.
Great and powerful magic missile.
You love to see it.
Nice.
Those are alright magic.
Imagine having to roll your attack roll for magic missile. Wouldn't that be terrible?
Imagine having non-gluten-free magic missiles. Absolutely disgusting. Non-hypoallergenic magic missiles also.
Andre, that's your girl.
get
Why are you
real.
making fun of her?
Non-hypoallergenic.
Allergenic?
Yeah.
That doesn't. I don't like.
That's going to be this thing's turn. It is going to look out at all of you, and it is going to... Looks like it's going to do something, and then it just starts to take off and fly into the air. You can have attacks of opportunity. Oh no, you can't. She was 5 feet away from you because she had reach.
Oh, I went up to.
Yeah, we had
I
to go
went
up
up
to her
to
to
get her.
You went up to her.
We were
Okay,
right
cool.
there.
So yeah, if you'd like to
But
roll me some attacks.
honestly, if it looks like she's retreating as opposed to like making a move to do something, I think Garth would probably hold off.
Yeah, she looks like she's going to retreat.
I'm gonna hit her.
Well, I sure
Okay.
am glad I used that mage armor.
Then again, I am raging.
That is a natural 18.
That hits.
Come on. Oh, it's still a 100's mark, so actually. Okay, that's some good stuff.
You smiting?
Yeah, let's level 1 smite it too. So bludgeoning damage is 18,
Okay.
and radiant damage. Come on.
Three.
Yeah, 3 of them because it's a fiend. $16 radiant damage.
Okay, cool.
Ugh.
She starts to fly away. As she flies up into the air, she looks down at all of you for a moment and has this, like, almost, like, horrifying screech, like, crow-like voice, and is like, "Stay out of matters that do not pertain to you. If you do not, I will come back with more. This is not your business. Leave it alone. You don't know what you're dealing with." And then she takes off and flies into the sky. And you guys are out of initiative.
Does anyone have any clue what the fuck she's talking about?
No.
My bike! Shit!
Oh my god, your bike!
Yeah, you make it back over to your bike. Do you guys do anything else here on the side of the road, or do you
Yeah,
collect your things and go to the party?
I'm gonna walk over to Andre, kind of do like a surveillance look, like I'm like tapping his like shoulders, his head, making sure he's okay. But at the same time, noticing he's not okay, I'm gonna do a little lay on hands for 10 HP.
Cool.
Renata, how are you doing?
Renata is like, "Oh, I'm fine." She seemed pretty ticked at the three of you, and not me. I don't know what that means.
I don't either. Also,
Look,
you
I've
said
been, I've made a point not to stick my nose anywhere this week. All right, so I don't know if you guys have been up to some shit, but I'm out. All right,
not on. Wait, what do you mean you're out?
I've got shit to focus on. All right, I've had the best week of school so far. and it's because I haven't been spending any time with you two and these damn crystals. So I think I'm out. All right, like this was fun, but it wasn't really fun. And he grabs some bandages out of the side little cargo area of his cycle and starts to wrap up these gaping wounds and it's just slashed into his chest. It's like,
wait, what if one of those monsters comes back?
Then we'll fight them again. But I'm done seeking them out right now. All right.
You don't want to try to preemptively stop the next golem attack? You're just okay with it happening?
I mean, every time we get our hands on the crystals, they slip out again. I'm kind of frankly, I'm not a kid. I'm not playing with a toy. And I'm not a dog chasing a stick. All right.
Did he say something about a stick?
Okay. Okay.
But thank you for rushing in like that. I appreciate it.
Yeah,
I mean, we're friends, right?
Yeah.
No, it's cool. We'll leave you be next time. That's cool.
Can we?
I'm just gonna kind of turn around, start walking back to the van.
I'll see you at VC cubed or WC cubed, whichever one we're going to.
Renata is standing there awkwardly for a second, for a beat, and is like, "I'm just gonna follow him. This is weird, and I don't know what's going on here." And she turns around and starts to follow Andre.
Derek kind of stands there, looking at Garth. I don't know. Did Garth walk away, or are you still standing there?
I think he's getting ready to go, but he's not hasn't left yet.
So I'm just gonna stand there and be like, it was nice fighting with you, bro.
You do a good job, Derek.
Derek's just gonna let a single tear drop, and he's just sitting there, being he's in the thoughts of he doesn't know who he is anymore. He hasn't known since he lost his football team. He just thinks that his possible girlfriend doesn't want to be his girlfriend. So she never was his girlfriend and might not ever be his girlfriend. And now his second friend of two is abandoning him. And I think Derek just feels like it's his fault.
Oh,
Derek is the one that pushes so hard that he breaks things. He doesn't want to break things.
do you head back to the van?
After another minute of standing there, yeah.
Yeah. You head back to the van.
The tear away.
Andre gets a text.
Sorry, just saw I had a missed call. Do I need to listen to this voicemail?
I text back. Sorry, I don't have this number saved. Who's this?
Garth, as you...
All right, dude.
Garth, as you mount your motorcycle, get this really passive-aggressive text from Andre. How are you feeling in this moment as you've, been almost thrown into the conflict again and have actively decided to stay out of it and told your friends that you're not doing this anymore?
He's just it's classic. I mean, he's very frustrated with the whole thing because he really thought he spent all week really being careful about not getting any fucking hijinks, not scheming or planning shit. And he just came out to have a good time, and honestly, he's feeling so attacked right now. Because he doesn't have anything he's pissed. I mean, I think he's not pissed off at the guy that came to his aid. The more as he rides, I think the longer he spends time thinking of it, the more pissed off he becomes at the situation in general. That this shit's happening, and it's he doesn't want anything to do with it. He's he half his vitality was slashed away in 6 seconds. And that's not what he needs right now, especially on the way to this party with this girl he really likes. And he just is. I think the grumbling of the motorcycle engine matches the grumbling in his mind.
Your soul. And Andre, as you pile back into the van, how do you think you're feeling in this moment as the van kind of starts to pull forward again and head to Waterfall City?
I don't think Andre's saying anything to anybody. He's probably just like sitting back in his spot, just like staring at the window. But in his mind, it's kind of like he's feeling like none of us want to be in this position. Like he's angry at Garth. He's like, none of us chose to be here, but we're kind of doing this thing and you're giving up on us. He feels betrayed. He's angry, and also he's like, do you know how much of an honor it is to fight beside me and you're just giving that up? Are you fucking serious? Like, I took time out of my day to allow you to join me in this mystery, and you are just throwing that away. You don't know how big of a mistake you're making. You will never have anyone as good as me, sir. And your party.
As you're kind of sitting here stewing in your own anger, you got a little luckier this time around with the draw of the way that the seats have worked out. You're like still sitting and you're like cramped up around a bunch of people. But this time around in the shuffle, Renata is sitting right next to you. And just because of the way that everybody is kind of squished in here, she's sitting here with her like legs basically kind of draped over your leg. And like you're very pressed next to each other. And she doesn't make any grand moves or anything, but you look over and she's blushing. And she kind of timidly grabs your hand and squeezes it real quick because she can see that you're mad, and then she lets go really fast and kind of looks away like she didn't just do that. And you guys
there's a girl here.
You guys all head over toward the party. As you approach, you get to Waterfall City. You see that this is a city that's surrounded by these waterfalls. It's actually a really loud city. You kind of enter and you just hear it before you see it because it's like just waterfalls everywhere. Behind a building, waterfall. There's just waterfalls. And you show up and you're driving around as everybody kind of knows where to go. And they're kind of like going through the main parts of town, but like back into like, some like back houses areas where there's this kind of like run down house that seems like its only purpose is like this, essentially this like big party house. It looks like it's a rundown house, but it's like a 2-story house. It looks like at one point in its prime, it was like maybe a really nice kind of mini mansion, but is now kind of this like, derelict punk show house almost. You guys show up, and there's a lot of people here, and they're celebrating, and you see kids from Valley City, and they're like holding up a trophy, and they're like, "We won!" And you can tell that like the Valley City duel club just won. So like this is a party that the other team is throwing, but technically is in your team's honor. And it's like a mess here. It seems like there is kids in uniform, kids outside of uniform. If you guys want, you guys can make me perception checks as you like kind of all approach and get to this party.
Pulling out the big boy for this perception check.
I should have.
Natural 4.
That's a 1.
Oh no.
Yeah.
I did get a 10. That's a 10 from Garth.
It's an that one.
1 is a 3.
No, not that one. It's something else. So a 10 from Garth. Yeah, Garth, with a 10, it just seems a little overwhelming here. There seems like there is a mix of kids from your school and a mix of kids from the other school, as well as kids who don't look like they go to the Waterfall City Community College. Kids who look like they like go to other schools nearby. They're just like dressed a little nicer, a little bit, dudes in boat shoes and like yacht pants, and like there's just kind of some people, and all those people people who are just really fancy are kind of elven. There's like a real elven fancy presence at this party, but they're kind of like slumming it. Like it looks like they're all like they popped their collars and they're like, are doing their version of slumming it here as they hang out.
Elven fancy
as you
sounds
yes,
like
we'll
the
dress like the
best-
pores. It'll be it'll be hilarious.
exactly.
Elven fancy
you kinda
sounds like
roll
the
in-
best party idea for like a real party, like for us. Like we all just like
Yeah.
Elven fancy.
Elven fancy.
I
You
feel like
roll-
on the internet
roll
they
up
can
this
find those
party,
parties for you, Bert.
I would say, Derek, you roll up. You see nothing but a party. Derek, you can barely even tell people's schools are different. There's just people here and they're partying. And as you get here, you kind of get lost in the crowd immediately. Just kind of get eaten by it as you like join the party. Andre, as you show up here to this party, you look around and instantly you're kind of given this like sickly feeling. And it doesn't really register why right away. And you're kind of looking over this crowd and you're looking at these like high elf fancy dressed people and you see like somebody poking their head out of the crowd and you see your friend Manon, your friend Manon, Simon, and I forget what we named the third person. Oh, Jock. It was Jock, who are your three and only friends from high school, and they look so excited to see you and they run over and Simon and Jock give you a big hug. Manon kind of gives you this hug that like feels present and a little knowing, like kind of like a, it's good to see you kind of hug. Renata's standing there kind of the side and she's introducing herself to them as well. And as you're kind of standing here in this moment, like reuniting with all of your friends, how do you feel as you kind of see your friends from home?
You know what? It's probably a really good, I don't really know how I left things off with them.
They go to the school that you wanted to go to, but because you failed out because of your cheating empire. You were uninvited to go to the school. You got in, and then they rejected you after that.
I feel like with everything that's going on that just happened with Garth. I feel like it's probably like here's some actually good friends. So he's probably actually pretty excited. These are also probably the first people that he's found that he can relate with because everyone that he's met is like poor. So
yeah, these are your other wealthy friends from downstate a little bit, and they're all really excited to see you, and you guys are exchanging pleasantries. And then that like pit feeling in your stomach grows a little deeper as you hear a voice over your shoulder say out loud, "Oh, wow, I didn't realize they let virgins into this party." And you turn around and you are looking at your older sister, Giselle.
Oh, dear God.
The sister that you have maybe the most contentious relationship with. And she kind of walks over and is like, "Look at you. What'd you just get into a fight or something? You look horrible. Wow. I can't believe you're here and I wish you weren't."
It's funny. I did actually just get into a fight. Which is why I look like this. What's your excuse?
Oh my god.
She says, "Oh, well, we're all slumming it with the poor people," which is like what you do all the time now because mom and dad cut you off from their money and you're now one of these people. I mean, you showed up in a van, baby brother.
I know it's hard to imagine having a group of people that like you and having to pay to have all of your friends pay to have people enjoy your presence. But maybe if you opened your mind a little bit, you would understand that maybe it's not so bad living with everyone else.
She kind of pauses for a second and looks a little angry as you kind of said this. And she turns to Renata and Manon, and she's like, "Oh, wow, so fun. Little brother's new girlfriend with little brother's ex-girlfriend. This is so fun for you. I'm so excited that you could bring a side piece to a party where I assume Manon invited you. That's so cool. You know what? I'm going to see you inside. You have a great time." And she turns around and she heads inside. And we are going to end the session here.
No, fuck you, Tess. No.
Oh my god! I didn't think any
this was a
sister
bad
could be
idea.
worse than Odette, but this bitch is a evil motherfucker.
Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I'm Tess Henry. You can find me at Tess Does Instagram on Instagram, Trainwreck Tess on TikTok, and my promo for the week is going to be, I don't know if I have anything major. I don't have anything coming up in my life. Who do I have friend-wise who does stuff? I don't know. It's hard for me. You know what I'm going to say? Actually, I have a really good friend who runs her own theater company. It's called Sour Grapes Theater Company. I highly recommend that you follow their Patreon or consume their content online. It's Sour Grape Productions. You can find their Instagram account, which has all of their other accounts linked. She makes incredible content. You should check it out. And that's me. We'll go around. Dan, you have anything you want to promo?
Green screens. Sometimes the stand is not included.
Jake, do you got anything?
Nope.
Nope. And Bert, what do you got for the crowd?
Try number 5. Pokemon Nuzlocke every Friday. We
Forever.
We will never. Ryan, if you're listening to this, I'm not gonna let your Christmas present be stupid. I'm gonna earn those badges. I promise.
You own. You don't need to earn.
I'm gonna earn them.
Wait, but
Thank
Bert,
you so
also,
much for
do
tuning
you?
in, everybody. We will see you next week. Bye.
Woo!